Things are going very, very dramatically south for Trump with the American public in truly overwhelming numbers and over the widest possible breadth of issues. And, you know, correlation is not causation, but that is happening at the same time that things are going south for Trump in terms of him just being stopped when he's trying to do stuff. Americans of various stripes and in various positions associated with various institutions just stopping him from doing what he's trying to get away with. This week, for example, Trump has been blocked by 2 more judges, one in Colorado, one in New York, both prohibiting him from using the Alien Enemies Act from the fricking 1700s to try to disappear any more people without giving them the opportunity to contest what he's calling them and what he's doing to them. In New York, a federal district court judge extended his earlier order blocking Trump on this issue. He said in his ruling this week, quote, "This is not the Inquisition. It is not medieval times. This is the United States of America." Yeah, speaking of the Black Death, now yet another federal judge has ordered Trump to return to the United States, yet another man who Trump sent to that prison in El Salvador. Everybody in the country has now been following closely this case of Kilmar Abrego Garcia. The administration is still trying to dodge and delay its response to the Supreme Court's directive that Mr. Abrego Garcia needs to be returned to the United States. But now there's another man. Now, a Maryland federal judge has ordered that Trump must return yet another young man who he sent to El Salvador, a man identified only by the name Christian in court proceedings. Simultaneously, Frederica Wilson is the latest Democratic member of Congress to show up bodily at one of these black hole sites where Trump has been shipping people. We spoke earlier this week on this program with Congressman Troy Carter, who led a delegation of U.S. members of Congress and 1 senator down to the 2 Trump administration immigration prisons in Louisiana. Now, Frederica Wilson, the Democratic congresswoman from Florida, has gone to another one of these facilities, the one in South Florida. That's the so-called Chrome immigration prison in Miami. And it's important that she is there. Part of not disappearing people is making sure that the places people are taken to stay on the map and get high-profile visitors and oversight and press attention. And Democratic members of Congress, including Frederica Wilson today, are starting now to make that happen. Trump lost in court again this week on his transgender military ban. He's now asking the United States Supreme Court to take it up. Trump lost in court this week on denying passports to transgender people as well. Trump lost in court this week on trying to shut down the Voice of America media service. Trump lost in court this week on his bizarre executive order trying to mount a federal takeover of elections. This is, you might remember this is where he said he wanted to hand over all state voter rolls to his top campaign donor, Elon Musk. Because, yeah, what could possibly go wrong with that? That was blocked today in court. Trump lost today in court as well on denying so-called sanctuary cities and counties federal funds. Trump lost in court today on trying to impose ideological anti-diversity punishments on American school districts. And to add insult to injury, Trump also today got to enjoy the spectacle of the Republican governor of North Dakota vetoing a Trump-inspired North Dakota book ban that would have sentenced librarians in North Dakota to prison terms for violating that ban. He vetoed it. Republicans in the state legislature passed it, but he vetoed it. That's too far, even for the Republican governor of North Dakota, who can probably read a poll. Yeah, that's how it's going over with the Republican governor of North Dakota. How do you think it's going over with the American public that they're trying to pull this book ban stuff at places like the U.S. Naval Academy in Annapolis? This was St. Augustine, Florida. Yesterday, people protesting against Trump's cuts to the national parks. Protect our national parks. We love our national park rangers. Protect our public lands. This was Modesto, California, on the left side of your screen at the offices of Republican Congressman Tom McClintock. On the right side of your screen, that's Pueblo, Colorado, at the offices of Republican Congressman Jeff Hurd. In both cases, yesterday, people protesting against Trump and the Republicans' planned huge cuts to Medicaid. This was Des Moines, Iowa. Iowans rally for the rights of the deported. People rallying in Des Moines On the left side of your screen and on the right side of your screen, people rallying at the federal building in Rochester, New York, in both cases telling Trump to obey court orders, to stop disappearing people without due process. This was the courthouse in Charlottesville, Virginia. On the left side of your screen, people turned up. They're furious yesterday to protest after Trump's agents arrested immigrants inside the courthouse yesterday. And on the right side of your screen, that's Burlington, Vermont, where people again protested at the federal building in support of Vermont resident Mohsen Madawi, who was arrested, you will remember, at his U.S. citizenship test. How's Trump doing turning around public opinion about his behavior in office? Well, he's cutting Meals on Wheels for the elderly and disabled, dismantling the agency that does that. Trump is trying to have millions of people who are alive legally classified as dead in the Social Security Administration without any due process and without any process in place for these people to correct it if and when they can show up at a Social Security office to try to prove that they are alive. Trump is apparently keeping in place his defense secretary, Pete Hegseth, who the AP is reporting tonight installed an insecure internet connection in his office, a public-facing insecure internet connection in his office that bypassed Pentagon security protocols, apparently specifically so he could use a commercial messaging app for texting, because maybe he didn't understand why his cell phone wasn't working inside the Pentagon for his texting habits. Oh, weird. How come your cell phone isn't working good in there? Better rig something up to bypass security. He's turning out to be a real peach on national security. Trump is apparently keeping him in place.